Okay, let's get straight to it. If you're listening and you're one of the many, many people managing blood pressure with medication, well, you've probably had a few thoughts, right?
hmm
Maybe something like, my doctor gave me these pills. Isn't that doing the job? Isn't that enough?
Right. Or maybe my numbers are down now. They look good. So why should I bother changing anything else?
Exactly. And today we're going to really dive deep into those questions. We want to explore what blood pressure medication actually does,
What it can do.
what it can do, yes, and just as importantly, what it can't do, where it falls short.
Yeah. And why those natural lifestyle shifts aren't just, a nice extra. They're fundamental.
Absolutely fundamental. And we'll give you some practical, science-backed ways you can actually start lowering your blood pressure naturally.
So the mission today is really about getting that complete picture,
Right.
understanding the whole approach to managing blood pressure.
Yeah, going way beyond just popping a pill every day.
It's interesting, isn't it? This idea that the medication is the final answer.
It does feel like that sometimes.
And look, it's absolutely true that these meds are critical. They get the numbers down. They reduce those immediate risks, heart attack, stroke,
Mm-hmm.
especially if your levels are dangerously high. They can be life-saving.
No question about that.
Think of it like a really effective emergency brake. It stabilizes things quickly, manages the immediate danger.
Okay, so it handles the numbers, the immediate crisis. That feels like the main thing people worry about.
It often is.
But where does it kind of stop? What's left on the table?
Well, that's the crucial part. While your readings might look good on paper, the underlying stuff, the reasons why your pressure was high in the first place,
Mm-hmm.
often that hasn't really been addressed.
Ah,
So the medication, it isn't going to, heal your arteries if there's existing damage.
right.
It can't just magically undo years of maybe a diet heavy on processed foods or constant stress or not moving enough.
It doesn't rewind the clock on lifestyle choices.
Exactly. And it doesn't by itself make your heart stronger or improve your overall circulation. What it's doing, very effectively, is managing a symptom, the high number itself.
But not the root cause.
Precisely. It's a bit like putting tape over a warning light on your car's dashboard.
The light's off, but the engine problem might still be there.
That's a great analogy. Yeah.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. And that really highlights why these lifestyle changes are so critical.
hmm
And I think maybe the surprising thing for some people listening is, even if the meds seem to be working perfectly, numbers are great, these natural steps are still essential for, well, long-term health.
Yeah, and this brings us to a really important, maybe slightly uncomfortable truth.
Okay.
If you only rely on the medication without changing how you live,
Yeah.
well, the likely path is needing that medication long term, possibly even needing more medication over time.
Right.
And despite those controlled numbers, your underlying health, the health of your cardiovascular system, might still be slowly declining.
So the medication is like a temporary support.
It's a vital support, in many cases, absolutely life-saving support, like we said. But it's your day-to-day choices, your food, your movement, your stress levels, your sleep. That's what really shapes your long-term health outcome.
It's the difference between propping something up and actually rebuilding it stronger.
Perfectly put. Medication is the scaffolding, essential for safety. But lifestyle changes build the strong, lasting structure.
And the benefits of making these natural changes, they go beyond just the blood pressure numbers, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. That's one of the best parts.
Yeah.
It's a ripple effect.
Like what?
Well, you'll likely notice more energy during the day, just feeling less drained.
Okay.
Your sleep often gets much better, deeper, more restful sleep. And that helps with clearer thinking, better focus.
Makes sense.
And maybe the biggest thing, these changes significantly lower your risk for a whole range of other serious issues. Things like type 2 diabetes, stroke, kidney problems.
Wow. Okay. So it's really about overall comprehensive health.
Exactly. Getting the numbers down is a key goal, yes.
Mm.
But the real prize is feeling genuinely better, more vibrant, more resilient. It's about total well-being.
Right. Okay. So we're sold on why these natural changes matter so much. But, for someone who's mostly just taking a pill every day, making big lifestyle shifts can feel, well, overwhelming.
It definitely can seem that way at first.
Where do you even start? If you want to lower your numbers naturally, what's step one?
Well, the good news is there's some really practical, evidence-based things you can start doing. Let's begin with probably the biggest one, food, your diet.
Okay.
The main focus should be shifting towards whole, unprocessed foods. So really cutting back on the stuff that tends to creep in: extra salt, added sugars, All those processed ingredients in packaged foods, ready meals.
The convenience foods?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And instead, fill your plate with, lots of vegetables, fruits, whole grains like brown rice, oats, nuts, seeds, lean proteins, real food.
And salt is always the big one people hear about. Cut the salt. But you mentioned balance, too. What's that about?
That's a really key point. Reducing sodium is often important, yes. But it's not the whole story. You also need to make sure you're getting enough potassium.
Potassium. Why?
Well, potassium actually helps your body get rid of excess sodium. It helps restore a healthier balance, an electrolyte balance, which directly affects blood pressure.
Ah, okay.
Think of it like this. Sodium makes your body hold on to water, which can raise pressure. Potassium helps your kidneys flush that extra water out.
So less sodium in, more potassium in to help push any extra sodium out.
You got it. And great sources are things like bananas, sweet potatoes, spinach, beans, lots of good stuff.
So it's not just taking away, it's adding good things too.
Precisely. A two-pronged approach with diet.
Okay. Now, what about moving? Exercise, we all know it's good for us generally, but how does it specifically help with blood pressure?
Even pretty moderate activity makes a real difference. You don't need to become an elite athlete.
Good to know.
Aiming for something like a brisk 20-minute walk most days of the week, that can have a noticeable impact.
Just 20 minutes.
It adds up. Exercise strengthens your heart muscle itself, makes it more efficient so it doesn't have to work as hard.
Yeah.
And it also helps keep your arteries flexible, more elastic, so blood flows more easily, and that lowers the pressure against the artery walls.
So stronger heart, more flexible pipes. Makes sense.
Yeah, the key is consistency. Find something you actually enjoy, or at least don't hate, so you'll stick with it.
Good advice. Okay, let's talk about stress. It feels like everyone's stressed these days. How does that play into blood pressure?
Oh, chronic stress is a huge factor. Often, it's kind of a hidden cause. People don't always connect the dots.
How does it work physically?
When you're stressed, your body releases stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones can cause your blood vessels to temporarily narrow, constrict, and your heart rate goes up.
The fight or flight response?
Exactly. Now, if that happens occasionally, it's normal. But if you're living in that state chronically, day after day, that can contribute to persistently high blood pressure.
So managing stress isn't just for feeling calmer, it's physically important for blood pressure.
Absolutely critical. And the good news is there are simple things you can do. Deep breathing exercises just for a few minutes. Journaling can help get thoughts out. Some people find prayer or meditation useful. Even just carving out some quiet time, reading, listening to music, finding what works for you.
Making it a daily practice.
That's the goal. Yeah.
Okay, another one that often gets pushed aside is sleep. How important is sleep for blood pressure?
It's huge, really fundamental.
Yeah.
Sleep is when your body does major repair work and regulates all sorts of processes.
Right.
If you consistently skimp on good quality sleep, it messes with your hormones, often leads to higher levels of those stress hormones we just talked about,
Ah, so lack of sleep equals more stress hormones.
which can equal higher blood pressure. It's all connected. So prioritizing sleep, aiming for 7-8 hours of quality rest, isn't a luxury. It's essential for blood pressure control.
Okay, that's a clear connection. And the last point you brought up was tracking your progress. Why is that so important?
Monitoring your blood pressure at home with a decent home monitor. It gives you real-time feedback.
Seeing the numbers change.
Exactly. Try to do it around the same time each day for consistency. When you see those numbers starting to trend down, even just a little bit,
Yeah.
it's incredibly motivating. It shows you that what you're doing, the changes you're making, are actually working. It reinforces those new habits.
Provides that tangible proof, makes it feel worthwhile.
Absolutely. It keeps you going.
Now, this isn't just academic for you, is it? You've walked this path yourself.
That's right. Yeah, I was on blood pressure medication myself for a while.
Really?
And, it helped initially. But the real shift, the turning point for me, was when I decided, okay, I need to take more control here, be more proactive about my own health.
So you started looking into these natural approaches.
I did. I started researching, trying things out, a lot of the very same things we've just been discussing. Diet changes, stress management, movement.
And that experience led you to actually write a book about it.
It did, yeah. That journey really inspired me to share what I learned. The book's called Lowering High Blood Pressure Naturally.
Okay.
And the goal wasn't to promise some kind of magic bullet,
Right. No quick fixes.
No. It was more about sharing the strategies that I found really worked, that were safe, that you could actually stick with long term. to give people the tools and the knowledge to feel empowered to take action.
Practical steps.
Practical steps. Because I found out firsthand when you make those changes, you really do see the results in your numbers. It's not just theory.
That's powerful. So for anyone listening right now who is on medication, it's important to say that's often a really good, necessary first step.
Definitely. It can be crucial.
But the main message today, I think, is that it's usually not the only step needed.
Yeah.
And maybe not the most impactful one for the long haul.
That's it, exactly. The pills help control the numbers, manage the situation, but it's your lifestyle, those daily choices. That's what truly transforms your health.
So you actually have the power to rewrite the story.
You absolutely do.
Yeah.
You can shift from just managing a condition to actively reversing the risk, addressing the root causes.
That's a much more hopeful outlook.
It really is.
And if you're looking for a roadmap, a guide on that journey, the book is Lowering High Blood Pressure Naturally by Dale Ruddock. Sounds like a fantastic resource for anyone ready to make those changes.
Thank you. I hope it helps people feel less fearful and more in control.
Well, thank you for sharing all this, your expertise, and your personal story, too. It's been really insightful.
My pleasure. And maybe just one final thought for everyone listening.
Yes.
Just take a moment to really think about it. All those small choices you make every single day, what you eat, how much you move, how you handle stress, how well you sleep, they seem small individually maybe, but added up day after day, they have this incredible power to shape the long-term health of your heart and your whole system. So maybe just reflect. Which one of these natural steps we talked about today feels like a possible starting point for you? Where could you maybe explore things a bit further?